Minnesota Vikings get our heart rates up, but escape with the win against the Chicago Bears. Get us to 4-1. We'll dive into more of that game right after this. Minnesota Vikings pull off the 29-22 win over the Chicago Bears. Again, just like last week, the game was more frustrating than it needed to be and much closer than I wanted it to be. But at the end of the day, we came away with the win. It looked like we were going to start out. It looked like this was going to be that game where we finally got everything together. Started out, kicked ass, and just didn't let off the gas pedal. Obviously, it didn't quite work that way, but we'll get into more of the bad later. But let's start with the good. Two things about this game. Number one, Kirk Cousins played amazing. I thought he looked really good out there all day long. Started off Minnesota Vikings record, 17 straight completions to start a game. Just he looked locked in. JJ looked like himself. But the big man on campus, the man that I was the most excited to see him step up and finally do his thing was Cam Dantzler saving Ed Donatell's defense. Who knows? Maybe even saving Ed Donatell's job after all is said and done. Man, this is the alpha dog Q or CB1 we thought we were going to see with Cam Dantzler to start the year. Now that he's finally out of Zimmer's doghouse, getting allowed to do whatever the hell he wants to do, stepped up and made a big play. I mean, that was just a dog mentality. He's ripping the ball off of Amir's
clutch
hands.
What a crazy clutch play though. They're driving on us. They have a certain amount of time left or whatever. He actually kind of gets juked and a little bit of stiff arm or something like that, falls down, gets back up, and just comes and literally takes the ball out to win the game. Like, how often do you see that? That's like something you barely ever see in general, is a player coming up and snatching the ball out of someone's hands. Like, usually a forced fumbles, you get hit and you drop it or whatever. You don't see that. For the end of the game, to win the game, you just go up and snatch the ball out of the hands. That was awesome. And man, talk about a huge play out of him. It was almost like, wait a second. Like,
did that just happen?
Yeah, that just happened.
That was my thought.
Sometimes you're wondering, like, you can just do that. You can just take the ball from them. I guess so. I had Vikings defense in fantasy, by the way, so I was hoping he was going to run a touchdown. But whatever. We'll take the win. Vikings first.
But really heads up play too, just sliding, getting down, stealing possession. It was amazing. Yeah. So Vikings getting the win. The Packers getting beat by the Giants in London. That was like Danny Dimes, Saquon Barkley, for that we thank you. Yeah, great way to start your football Sunday, man. What a good day.
Yeah, I was at the Vikings game. I mentioned it in the other podcast. So I'll just mention that right away here this time because I didn't do that last time. But no, at that game, of course, they had the Packer Giants game up right at the end, so we were able to see them not win right at the end there. And everybody, of course, we're there with Viking fans and Bear fans, so everybody in there as a collective is all pumped up and happy, which is a funny experience. But yeah, I mean, that other than that, because you brought up Cam Dantzler, but I want to bring up, I think, just our offense in general. That was by far our best offensive game. Yeah. Our offense in general, that's what we won. Last week, I think the special teams kind of held us together. This week, they didn't. This week, it was our offense was exactly what we wanted. Even though our defense, we still need better. Special teams didn't step up this week, but our offense, that's what we want to see every single week. They were so good the entire game. And not just that, that was also... And I think even might be the number one thing for this game is, I think this is by far KOC's best coach game, especially just offensively. He came up with so many cool plays at the perfect time. I mean, there was the flea flicker was the only play that didn't really do anything. Every single thing else, a Rager touchdown, the pass to Justin Jefferson, to Delvin Cook, right? Yep. I mean, there was all kinds of these trick plays that you never saw from Mike Zimmer, and I was pumped, and I'm here for it, and I like that, and I love the going for it on fourth down, the way they did. Who was that? What play was that? Was that when Justin Jefferson threw it when we converted that fourth down?
No,
that was just a normal play.
Yeah, I don't remember.
That was pass interference. Pass interference to Justin Jefferson, I believe.
Okay.
Probably converted.
Sounds right. Yeah. But either way, it was nice. It was nice to see that offense. This was the offense we thought we would see this year. Christian Darrisaw. I remember there was one play where Christian Darrisaw made an amazing block to give Cousins enough time to get the ball out. Brian O'Neill, I don't know what's going on. It's been 2 bad weeks in a row for him. It's a little bit concerning. Ed Ingram had a couple lumps this game. Not Christian Darrisaw. Ezra Cleveland had one bad rep. Garrett Bradbury so far has actually looked pretty solid. Got to give him a lot of credit, but yeah, man. But you're right. This is exactly the offense that we thought we were going to see. Efficiency. Kirk looked good. I mean, he had the one interception, which it was. He made a really interesting point in his post game press conference. He said that he had seen something like that before, and he said it was a few plays back, and I took the flat instead of where I had a guy open down the field. He's like, what I did there is I took a previous play into account for this play. It's like, when for real, I just got to take it into a vacuum. I got to see that there's that guy there who's going to jump the route if I get there. Get it out to CJ, let him go, do what he does. So he, and that was nice to hear from Kirk that he's like, I messed up and I got to do better next time. And that's what that's what people want to see from Kirk, leadership. And he still went out there. And just other than that, though, I was really impressed with how he played.
Amazing.
Exactly. And I know, momentum did in special teams, as you mentioned, did kind of turn the momentum when the Bears started scoring. Then our offense did kind of stall a little bit in the second half there, unfortunately. I felt like, the screen or the flea flicker screen was weird. I feel like maybe they tried to get a little too cute instead of just doing what worked, getting the ball to JJ. They worked all game long, and they stopped doing it in the second half, which is a little bit frustrating.
No,
but at the end, Kirk did what he needed to do to get us, did what he needed to do, got us down, scored the touchdown, 2-point conversion. Kirk did it with his legs. You called it and you took it back. I don't know why you did that, but it was good. It was good, man.
Really I don't know. I should know, man. Kirk does have some legs. He just needs to use them more.
Yeah.
No, see, the thing with the flea flickers, like, I love those special plays that they're doing, even though they're not all going to work. Of course, they're not all going to work. And some of them are going to look stupid. But the fact that you're doing them and they do work, like that time, out of 5 trick plays, 1 of them didn't really work. And it wasn't that big of a deal. And we also we got blown up on it. It just did not work. But no, I mean, you were talking back to the interception with Kirk Cousins, and that's when I saw that. It was like, obviously he should have threw it to the flat or whatever. But part of me is
wanted him to throw it to CJ.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to. I'm always down to throw it to CJ, but more with Kirk Cousins, because I remember, like, even watching that, like I can, like, picture watching it, because just being there, and like I just saw them both opening up, CJ and then Thielen, like, perfectly. They're both in. Thielen looked wide open, and I remember just seeing the other guy there, and I was thinking Kirk would just throw in the flats, because that's what he generally would do anyways, and he threw it to Thielen. And part of me was like, even though it was a terrible decision, got interception, part of me is like, I'm glad that he tried going for the bigger play,
for sure,
because that's something that I knock Kirk on myself, is I just don't think he goes for the big plays enough. And obviously sometimes when you do that, you're going to get interceptions. That was obvious, like, you should have thrown it. It was like a easy first down or whatever. But still, a part of me is like, at least he would attempted the bigger play,
right? And speaking of things that people knock Kirk for doing, let's talk about that last drive a little bit more. There was one play that sticks out to me, and it was his first down run, because that one, everybody always says Kirk can't work off schedule, and when things break down, he just falls over, takes the sack, and moves on. He stepped up, had to do a little step back juke move out to the side, ran it for the first down, didn't fall over too early like he's done in the past, gets the first down, and then he ends up taking the QB sneak in for the touchdown. Like this. That is perfect. Like that whole drive right there, just like, this is what Kirk Cousins can be in this offense when he plays free and things are working for him. It's
that was 3rd and 5 or 3rd and 9 or so. What was that? 3rd and 5 or 3rd and 9? Or that was a 3rd down for sure.
I think it was 3rd and 5. I want to say
3rd and 5.
Yeah,
dude. And that's the thing about this year. It's really funny, because I feel like it reminds me a lot of last year, actually, with Zimmer's team, where we get in these close games. We kind of play to whatever skill level we're playing against or whatever. It's always close. But the difference is we're winning these games this year instead of last year we were losing them. Obviously, I don't want to always see it roll out that way. But yeah, man, I mean, we got to give Kirk Cousins tons of credit here. I still need to see him step up in big games. I still do think, sorry about it, but I still do think there can be these games where he doesn't play well, and all it takes is that one game for us to lose in playoffs or whatever. But man, can he have games where he's just so confident and does so well. And this year in particular, in these last 3 games, with these huge drives, game-ending drives to put us in position to win 3 weeks in a row. Obviously, these are games we should have already had in the bag. This week, him and his offense, it was nothing to do with them. There's that one interception. Other than that, they were the reasons why we won this game.
For sure. Yeah. But anyway, so let's end the offensive talk here by jumping into just a few stats. So Kirk Cousins, obviously 32, 41, 296, the one touchdown, one reception, the one rushing touchdown. Justin Jefferson, that nice 23-yard toss out there. One of the Kirk's one touchdown going to Jalen Reagor, who finally got on the board for the Minnesota Vikings.
That was a
Good
nice little
receiver
juke he
wise.
did there
Thumbs
too.
up. Awesome punt return. He made me a little nervous there, but we'll talk about that later. Delvin, before the game, we were talking about this fantasy wise and stuff. I said, Delvin Cook, I don't know what it is, but the injuries with him just bother me. You know, maybe he needs to sit out and rest up. He must have heard me or something because I was playing against him in fantasy as well. So going off 18 carries, 94 yards, 2 touchdowns, making me eat my words. It is what it is. Kirk Cousins with the 4 rushing yards and the touchdown as well. And then JJ, we haven't talked enough about JJ yet. 12 catches, 154 yards. JJ being JJ, Irv Smith with a couple nice catches as well. But yeah, man, Justin Jefferson, he is the focal point of this offense, and it's working. And you know, and he said it himself. He's like, I had the 2 down weeks, and all I did was open it up for everybody else. But now, you know, but when I'm on, I'm on. And he was on today for sure. It was nice to see him finally. It was nice to see him keep doing what he did last week and really stepping up over 100 yards. No touchdowns, but you know, he had the big 2-point conversion.
Right.
And yeah, man, Justin Jefferson's proving why he is one of the, if not the best receiver in the game.
Yeah, I mean, he can even, I mean, just the little catch it. I mean, he caught on his pass. He caught the ball, did like a little move like he was running, turned around, threw a perfect pass to Dalvin Cook. Like that guy's just special. 12 receptions, 154 yards. There's no question that our team runs through him on the offense. But Dalvin Cook definitely, he stepped up. He looks this game, the last 2 games, I believe, right? I think so.
Yeah.
Last game he was starting to look good too, but it just he's so close to breaking one out. Like he's just getting shoelace tackle. There's like one guy left and they grab his foot or something. He's just gonna bust one open. And you know, it seems like these last couple of weeks we've kind of get to see his speed again. It was like we were missing him out in the open field, and now he's like seeing his lanes or something a little bit better. I don't know. He's just getting more yards and looks more agile these last couple weeks,
right?
Which is interesting since he had his little shoulder thing. But I also want to mention one more thing too. A bigger thing than that. I mean, we got 5 receptions to KJ Osborne for 41 yards. Adam Thielen 4 receptions, 27 yards. I mean, the ball was spread around. Alexander Madison 3, Dalvin Cook 2, Johnny Munn 2, Jalen Reagor that 1. But Irv Smith, I think Irv Smith seems to he's starting to get back on track a little bit and getting warmed up. And if he keeps doing this and starts turning it up, and he could just have started a little rusty from being out for an entire year.
Yeah, very well.
Man, he could be huge for us going forward.
Yeah, for sure. That one where he had to reach out and they hit him right as he caught it. I thought he was going to drop that. And after he didn't, I was like, okay, Irv, good. But anyway, offense, yes, the offense looked really good. Obviously, second half cleaned some things up. You're never going to be fully consistent throughout the game, but hopefully they can make it where they're more consistent for 4 quarters. But let's talking about the Bears offense. These 2 guys right here, I want to talk about them a little bit and kind of the scenario in this game in which things started to turn just a little bit. So it started off with special teams, which up to this point has been one of the staples of this team. And this is the frustrating part. Like, it feels like nothing ever, like we never have all 3 phases perfectly work in unison.
Yeah.
Today, the offense was good most of the game. Special teams and defense were not. So, you know, obviously you had the shank and the penalty on the punt. The big Darnell Mooney, one of his catches, the big catch, one-handed catch, amazing circus catch by Darnell Mooney. And then the big rush by David Montgomery to, you know, give the Bears their first points. We drive down special teams blunder again. I love Greg Joseph. I think he's a good kicker. He's had a few longer misses, which is fine, but I know normally he's been money from 50 and 50 plus. Missing that 53-yarder at that point really kind of kept momentum on the Bears side. They got the ball back and drove down again. It's just, I don't know. That was the frustrating part, you know. That was the turning point of the game, and then things started to get, and that's when the offense kind of went into panic mode almost, or they almost tried to conserve the lead maybe a little bit too early. And yeah, man, but it's just that defense, I don't know what Ed Donatel needs to go. I'm sorry. I don't know. You know, Kevin O'Connell, I understand he's not going to want to be too quick to pull the trigger, especially since we're 4-1.
He won't.
You should take the fact that we're 4-1 with that and be like, okay, what can we do to make sure we keep this going? And defensively, man, that's going to be the thing that's going to keep hold this team back. Special teams, they had one bad game. They're going to figure it out. But
yeah.
Ugh, I mean, even though Greg Joseph with the 2 misses today, of course, after being special
Yeah.
teams player of the week, but man, that defense, like Matt Daniels is good. That special team is going to be fine. Defense, though, I don't see it. I don't see it getting better. I think all these games are going to be like this if we keep doing this. I mean, obviously, the pieces of this team are great. Daniil Hunter finally got off the schneid today with a sack. Harrison Smith, he got beat, but he had that nice breakup. Was that Mooney in the corner of the end zone? Front corner of the end zone?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. I believe
Had
number
that
11,
really
right?
nice pass breakup on Mooney. Patrick Peterson again today, a down day. It didn't look as good as he has in weeks past. Cam Dantzler obviously looked pretty solid. But man, this just overall though, this defense just I don't know what to think of it. Again, and again, the running quarterback thing really bit us. If ISM
Right.
didn't make his first blunder of the day,
Mhm.
that's a
Poor
touchdown for Fields there rushing. So I don't know. Defensively, this just feels like Mike Zimmer, where we play soft, we let these running quarterbacks beat us. We kept contained for the most part, but a couple
in
times
the
he broke out.
beginning.
I know there was one where Zadarius Smith really whiffed on him in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
When we would have had him stopped on, I believe it was might have even been a fourth down.
It might
But
have been.
I don't know, man. This defense is the major concerning point. I am so Ed Donatel just he ain't doing it for me. Unfortunately, I mean, maybe who knows? Maybe we need to go back to a 4-3. I mean, all the players on the defense know how to do it. I know you probably don't want to switch schemes mid-season, but
Right.
this defense is frustrating to watch. And
yeah, you have to.
And that's the big reason why momentum changed. That defense let the Bears right back into the game, and then things really started to change.
I would argue. So I want to say it first off. I feel bad for ISM, kind of not too bad because I want to win, but man, it does suck for ISM to come against us and then have those 2 plays happen for him. But anyways, I would argue that I blame this game on the special teams more than the defense. I think the defense definitely did a terrible job in the second. In the first half, they contained just fine, and for the most part, it wasn't until that really bad punt from like what was it? The really bad punt. It went on out in the 30, and then right at the end of the first half, and then we had the block or the holding penalty, and then they started at like the 50-yard line, and that's when they scored right before the half. Which obviously they got. Our defense needs to hold up, but then we had the blocked field goal. Now they're starting again midfield, and then they came. It was every time they were in midfield. They started scoring touchdowns but it all came from our special teams. Like that was a bad punt. That should never happen. We missed that one the second half field goal. The game, it was all over, I guess. But then we had the blocked field goal, and then it was halfway. They had another chance there, and then they scored a touchdown on that one as well. But so I think it's like I think like the players are right. It's definitely like a scheme thing to me. Like, I think the players are fine because we can hold them. Sometimes our defense is holding the other team pretty well. And then all of a sudden we're just letting them come down on us all the time. And there is something to do with, and even this, like, I felt like we were blitzing maybe a little bit more, but it wasn't really working in our favor because Fields was getting out in this game. But there's no question we were playing off the wide receivers again, especially late in the game. Like, I don't feel like it was happening as much earlier on. It's like, why do you start? What are you so worried about? You're just worried about the big play all of a sudden. And I mean, if you let Justin Fields get 15 for 21, you're talking a guy who has like 50% completion percentage this year, and he went 15 for 21. There is no way we have to be the highest completion percentage against or whatever.
Yeah.
As far as passing goes.
Right. You think. And I know we talked a lot about this team having to blitz more. I feel like this week our pass rush, no matter what we try to do, just can't get there, unfortunately. I don't know what it is. We have two of the premier pass rushers in the league, and they just can't seem to get there. It's frustrating. I don't know what, but I mean, but that's the one thing. Like, everything's fine on this team with that defense. I'm not asking you to be like a top 4 defense in the league. You just got to be like top 15 and not play so far off the ball like that.
That's
the frustrating part is just we're allowing all these not no-name quarterbacks. I shouldn't say that, but Goff and Fields and Andy Dalton to just nickel and dime their way down the field on us, and it's just it's the most frustrating part of this whole thing.
Yeah, it's 10-yard passes like wide open in the middle of the field, and you just see a guy just playing right out, like the Cole Kmet first down. I think it's I don't know if it's fourth down or third. It was a big play though. I don't remember what down it was. But yeah, Cole Kmet, like wide open, 10 yards down the field, and you're just playing off of them. Like, what's going on here? You should just have enough confidence in your cornerbacks and stuff at this point where you feel like you could just play press and just think that they'll cover them for the most part. I mean, you're gonna allow some big plays here and there, but man, 15 for 21 from Justin Fields, you
Yeah.
like that's just tough to me.
Yeah,
I
for
think.
sure. I mean, he's watched Justin Fields. He's not. I mean, he's not that good. I hate to say, he's, I'm sure he's a good kid, but like, he's just not. He
Yeah, but he's
shouldn't be
not.
putting up those
Yeah,
type of numbers against you. So, but that's the
no,
thing. It's just the
not.
defense is the thing they need to figure out the most. And I know they have Mike Pettin up there too. So I mean, if you do have to move on from Donatelli, you got a guy who's done it before and has some experience coaching up good defenses. So that
Right, and
might
for
need to be the way you go. I don't know, but like the defense is the thing that when we, and I saw someone tweeted out today that they said we have yet to let an opponent score 25 points, which is fine. Like that's awesome. But when you get to play the good teams who aren't going to, let you hang in the game like that, if you make mistakes and they're just going to beat you, I don't know, man. It's just, it's not sustainable to me. Something's got to change on the defense if we want this to keep, because we got, Miami next week. We might be playing against a third string quarterback at this point. I don't know. But after that, you got some tough matchups coming up. So you gotta figure it out. I don't know, man. It's concerning.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's because they're not. I don't really know. Maybe they're not like because against Aaron Rodgers, our defense was so good and our pass rush was great and our cover everything. Like it didn't feel like it was this way. It feels like we're rushing to the quarterback and we're covering well. And I don't know if it's just because they're just not worrying about these quarterbacks and they're just letting if like kind of like we did with Jalen Hurts for sure, where it's kind of like we're putting the ball in the quarterback's hands and we're trying to stop everything else and we're trying to make the quarterback beat you against these quarterbacks that are not like that good, I guess.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the problem. Maybe like we're not taking the opponent's quarterback serious enough. Because I'm hoping when we are against like a Josh Allen, which is going to happen this year, there's no way. I don't even know. Like
Yeah.
he's gonna be a tough
Yeah.
opponent for
Yeah,
Donatello
for sure.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, at that point, we'll have to see what happens. But either way, at the end of the day, 3-0 in the division. Packers lost. Got a full game up on them. 4-1. You tell me to start the season, you go 4-1 your first 5 games,
Yeah.
and they're all going to be tight. You're 4-1. I think we're taking that any day of the week. So yeah, that's our thoughts on it. We want to know your guys' thoughts on this game. Make sure to let us know those down in the comment section, and we'll see you guys next time on the GG Sports Podcast.
Skol Vikes.